Hi, my name is Tasha. Welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be about the things on my 30 by 30 list that I accomplished that I'm not going to make separate videos for. So you're probably wondering, what's your 30 by 30 list? That list is a list of 30 things that I wanted to accomplish before I turned 30 years old. Officially, I am 30 years old. And so I just wanted to give an update about what I accomplished and talk about the future and the things that I want to do. So the first thing I actually accomplished off my list when I created it in 2017 was that I wanted to invest in stocks. And so I was a part of an organization called BIG, which is like Blacks in Government. And one of the opportunities that they gave to members that were 40 and under was they provided a year's worth of free services with a financial advising company. So I sat down with the advisor, talked about the vision I saw for my future and when I wanted to retire, the things I wanted to accomplish, and we created a plan of investing in things including life insurance and things that would secure the future that I wanted for myself. So that was the first thing I accomplished. The second thing that I accomplished and then went back and forth on for the past 3 years was being debt-free. I was able to get debt-free. I paid off all my student loans. I was able to pay off my car, but then I bought a house, and then I had to buy a lot of stuff for the house, and then I was back in debt, and then I got out of debt, and then other things happened, and then I got back in, and now I'm out again. So it's one of those things that goes back and forth. The only debt that I had and probably will have again is credit card debt, and depending on where I am at in my life, I may have to spend a lot all at once and then have to work to pay it off. But I have learned how to be a little bit more fiscally responsible. One of the ways I was able to get out of debt and specifically pay off my car is my uncle gave me the tip, and this is a tip for you all, to instead of paying my car payment monthly, he told me to split my car payment in half and literally pay bi-weekly. So every time I got paid, I would pay half of my car payment that payday. So what that does is it allows for you to pay off your car faster with less interest because you're paying down the principal much quicker than just waiting a full month. Plus, some months have more than 4 weeks in it, so it all ends up working out, and I was able to pay my car off way before the 5-year mark. Another one of the things I accomplished was being able to see a Broadway show. I always wanted to see a show on actual Broadway in New York. I know they had different like Broadway shows, even in DC. They have shows at the Kennedy Center that, I've seen Chicago there. But I really wanted to go to Broadway in New York and see a show. So I planned it out so that when my friend was having his birthday that he was planning in New York, I was able to buy a ticket during that weekend to go see a show. I actually went by myself. I went to see The Lion King, and it was so dope. The actors were so good. The dancing was phenomenal, and I'm really glad I got to see that. One thing though about Broadway shows and just shows in general is that, yeah, it's cool to go alone. Like, I have no problem going places by myself, but I think I definitely would have enjoyed it more if someone was with me, because it's kind of that element where it's like, you don't have that, hey, remember when that happened, or remember when we did this? You don't have that element of like having somebody to remember stuff with. So if you go see a show, definitely go with people, have a good time, laugh, joke, and enjoy it. I had a great time, and I'm glad I got to do it. One of the more adventurous things I planned on my list was to take a hot air balloon ride. And what's so crazy is that had been trying to do it for years, but it like kept falling through. When I went to Mexico in 2017, I had booked a hot air balloon ride. We literally went out that morning with the company, drove out to this massive field, and we were waiting. It was super early, like 4 or 5 in the morning. And because of the weather, we ended up not being able to fly. And it was like, we did all of this and still weren't able to fly. Then I've had some other trips, and I was like, oh, well, maybe I can go here, maybe I can go there. It never ended up panning out. And it just so happens that while I was on my 2019 Euro trip, I was in Belgium at my cousin's house, and I was like, well, I go to Spain in a few days, like, let me just see if they have hot air balloon rides. And I just looked it up a few days before I left and found one. It had great reviews. It was in Segovia, and there was like castles, and like you can literally see snow on the mountains in the background. I have footage, but the footage does not compare at all to what I saw in person. There's no way to capture the beauty of it on video. It was so captivating. I'm so grateful I got to see it. The hot air balloon ride was freezing. It was so cold up there. I was enjoying the ride, but like halfway through, I was like, look, we can just go down, because at this point, I'm not even really enjoying it no more because I can't feel my feet, you know. But the fire from the hot air balloon provided a little bit of warmth. But it was absolutely beautiful. I don't regret going at all. And if you have a chance, I absolutely recommend that you go. And if in Spain, even better, because the scenery, there's no words. Like, I have nothing else to say. It was just absolutely gorgeous. It was quite the experience. It was quite the experience. And then we had like a little brunch afterward, and then, you know, we took pictures and stuff, and it was definitely a great end to a wonderful trip. And I mentioned that I went alone on the hot air balloon ride, but in Spain I had a friend, and so I wasn't alone the entire time. But on my list was to take a solo trip. And so I took my solo trip in Israel. I went to Israel completely alone. I didn't know anyone there, never been there before, and it was quite interesting. It was nothing that I had imagined, nothing at all the way I envisioned it. I don't know why I just thought when I got to Israel I was gonna see dirt roads everywhere. It was very ignorant. But I got there and I went to Tel Aviv, and it was like a bustling New York. That's how it felt. Like, there were so many people. It was just like a regular city. I stayed in a hotel that was kind of geared towards solo travelers. So there's like one bed, a small bathroom, whatever. And it was right in the middle of everything. There was the whole market on the street next to mine. There was restaurants and different hookah bars and stuff, and, you know, nightlife a few blocks down. There was a beach 5 minutes away. Everything was super duper close. So that was great. That was great for me because I didn't want to have to be trying to travel far to do things in a place that I'd never been before. I was able to go to the beach, sit out. I met some people. I went on an excursion. It was a Holy Land, Dead Sea kind of excursion. And speaking of Dead Sea, that was another thing on my 30 by 30 list, was to take a dip in the Dead Sea. I was able to visit the Dead Sea and swim in it, put some mud on my face, just really enjoy, you know, everything that comes with going to the Dead Sea. I saw camels. People were having a great time. And I'm really glad I got to experience that. That was super cool, being able to float in there. It was really, really cool. It's one of those things that I'll always remember, particularly because it seems like the waters are receding at the Dead Sea and it's not going to exist for very, very much longer. So if you want to go do that ASAP. But the Israel trip was cool. Going solo taught me a lot, and I have a completely newfound confidence for travel. And I think everybody should do it at least once. If you guys want to see a video on different tips or my experiences traveling solo, let me know. While I was in Europe, I was in Belgium at my cousin's house, but she was working, so I did a lot of, you know, going about by myself. I went to Spain. I have a friend that lived there, but she wasn't with me the entire time. She was also working stuff. I was staying in a hotel, so I got to see her sometimes, but I was really on my own. So if you have any questions about that, put those below. Maybe I'll make a separate video on that. Another thing that I accomplished on my list was to host a holiday at my house. And so after I bought my house, I bought it in September, and then that next year when Easter came around, Resurrection Sunday, I decided to host it at my house. So we got pretty festive with it and got decorations and things, and it was super cool having my family over, being able to take a holiday. My family, all we needed is an excuse to throw a party, so being able to have one of those at my house was really fun, and I love my family, so being around them and laughing and joking and, you know, just being able to spend time together, that was awesome. There were quite a few things on the list that I wasn't able to get to also, but I am taking an extension, okay, because once Corona hit, it was like all the plans I had just for 2020 alone, like I was gonna be knocking these things out, and it just threw a big wrench in so many plans. I'm not trying to make it seem like, you know, oh, my plans were ruined. I know a lot of people are going through a lot of heartbreak due to Corona, and so my heart goes out to everyone that's experiencing grief and loss and just going through a terrible time. Mostly I'm just saying I'm giving myself an extension because, you know, I was going through my own things as well, and it wasn't a good time. So I'm gonna give myself 231 to finish the remainder of things on my list. These are the things that are left on my list to do, and I plan on just taking my time, especially now that I have more time since kind of been staying at home and haven't had so many obligations. It's been much easier to do things at my own pace and not feel rushed. So I'm giving myself 231 to finish the rest of the things. And if you haven't seen the other things that I accomplished on my 30 by 30 list, you can check out this playlist here. If you want to see some other content, you can look at the video here. And I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.